It's the Fair Fight Initiative, and we're going block by block through the broken components of our system that impact marginalized people and how the Fair Fight Initiative proposes to make systemic change in each component, in each cog of this broken machine. And we're talking with Executive Director David Utter about cash bond. And David, we know how unjust this system is, but before we talk about how it's wielded against people, just explain to people who may not understand, for even the simplest charge, how poverty and wealth can become immediate factors over how you're treated when you're arrested.
Well, in the vast majority of jurisdictions in the United States, I think a couple states have outlawed cash bond because it's so unfair. If you don't have money to pay once you're arrested and you're detained, if you don't have money to afford your cash bond, you don't get out of jail. It's that simple. And judges often impose cash bond on the false assumption that it is what keeps people coming back to court. It doesn't, right? There's tons of research out there to show that what we end up doing when we utilize cash bond is we punish people before their trial, before they're found guilty of anything, simply because they can't afford to pay for their cash bond to get out of jail before their trial. And it's incredible injustice. It also means you're much more likely to get convicted. When you're not out at home, working, taking care of your kids, taking care of your family, going to school, going to work, you have a much higher likelihood of getting convicted because you're not able to really help your lawyer work on your case, right? And you're also not making the case for the judge, should, God forbid, you be convicted, that you're a safe bet. You're somebody that's not going to reoffend. You're somebody that cares enough about your case and about your community that, this is a one-off if you actually did something wrong. And so there's many, many reasons why being able to get out after that initial arrest it's a good thing for all of us, and especially the person that got arrested.
And that's to say nothing about how cash bond can destroy lives, even when a perfectly innocent person can't pay it. We can talk about jobs, homes, cars, custody, you name it.
Yeah, think about that. So if you get arrested and you're in jail and you're not able to work, what are the things that then fall off, right? Like your car payments aren't going to get made. Your rent's not going to get paid. Your kids are not going to have food to eat because you're not out there working to provide for your family and to pay the bills. It also produces, and it therefore actually produces, an incredible incentive for the DA, for the prosecutor, to keep you in jail, because it's much more likely you're going to accept a crappy deal offer, plea bargain, if you're in jail and you're not allowed to get to work, you're not allowed to do the things you need to do to be a successful human being in our society.
And let's talk about the way that the Fair Fight Initiative has used crowdsourced donations in the past to fund experienced lawyers who made real systemic change around cash bail.
Yeah, Baton Rouge, Ryan B. Smith, Fair Fight's lawyers sued the judges in Baton Rouge, the district court judges, because they weren't taking into account whether somebody could afford the bond. It's a violation of the Equal Protection Clause. It's a violation of the Due Process Clause of the federal Constitution. And thank goodness those judges quickly wanted to do the right thing. We settled the case early on. Chief Judge Shelley Dick in federal court in Baton Rouge, when she was approving the settlement in court, said, "This is a great day for justice for Baton Rouge." It's a great example of the system responding to unfairness. Now, there's a long way to go. Baton Rouge isn't perfect, but that's one thing that crowdsourced donations were able to fund lawyers to litigate that case to successful resolution.
And a classic case of what Fair Fight Initiative is to do, taking the crowdsourced money to go toward cases that have made a huge difference in one community where another lawyer simply wouldn't be willing to step in because there was not a monetary reward to get it done. Keep reading on this site. We'll go through the different sections of this broken system and describe why Fair Fight is here to help make change.